What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Locked In Sports Podcast. We've made it. This is our 31st podcast in 31 days. We've covered every single major league team. We've previewed every single one of them. Today is our props, award winners, division standings, playoff predictions, extravaganza. Luis, how's it going?
Hey, I'm happy to be here. Happy that we're baseball is right around the corner, man. Like it is literally days away. Like
Tomorrow is opening
yeah,
day. I mean, we're recording this on Sunday, but it is coming out on Wednesday, so day before opening day.
I smell the peanuts and the Cracker Jacks right now. So I am very excited that we've made it this far. It's been a grind, to say the least.
The question is, are you going to Marlins, Pirates, Sandy Alcantara versus Paul Skeens tomorrow?
I have not bought my tickets yet. It's unclear. I mean, Thursday is a big day. I mean, Yankees are on. There's so much baseball on Thursday that it's tough. Like I don't know.
It is. It is. I think I'm gonna have to tune into that game though. It's really good.
A lot of things. A lot of things are going on in Miami this week. You got Miami Music Week, which gets popping. So there's a lot of things going on in the city, and the city's on fire this week. Let's put it like that. Like them saying New York's on fire. Like the city's on fire this week. So it'll be interesting. I mean, I'm more excited that baseball is back. All 30 teams take the field on Thursday, and we're actually going to be able to see how teams have improved, what players are going to step up. And, there's always these feel-good players I'm ready to watch. Like, I'm ready to see, like, a breakout superstar or some player break out of nowhere, or some player that we didn't think was going to have an MVP, all-star caliber year, has it. There's always a reliever. One year it was Joe Manaply. The other year it was a Jake Berger. Like, I'm ready. I am fueled and ready to go. My project softball, batting cage, I have not hit the batting cage. So, maybe Thursday would be a great day to start. But I'm probably going to eat hot dogs. Probably try the 9 for 9 in the next couple weeks. So get after it. Are you going to the White Sox game this weekend? They're in town.
I am not going. Well, maybe, probably not. It's still going to be freezing. It's going to be freezing.
What are you talking about? It's White Sox Angels, man. You got to go to the South Side and catch them out.
It's also supposed to rain all weekend as of now. So
that stinks.
But we did talk about their promotional schedule, which is quite enticing. So if you guys didn't listen to that one, tune in to that one.
How excited are you for the season, my guy? I literally want to hear how excited you are for the season, my guy.
It always is, this time of year, it's always ready for it to get started. I want the Yankees to get back to where they were last year. Feels like they got to prove a lot of people wrong. We'll see if that happens, but this is one of the, best times of year as a baseball fan. Opening day, the players take it so seriously. They always talk about how important opening day is. So I am 10 out of 10, maybe even 11 out of 10. Excited.
I'm 11 out of 10, man. I mean, we got a little taste last week with the Japanese series with the Dodgers versus the Cubs, but here we are. We are here. What do you feel? Let's just open up the pod, man. I mean, we talked a lot. What are some storylines you're most interested this year? Like, give me 2 or 3 storylines you're interested about looking at this season.
I always look at like bounce back teams, bounce back players. So like one team we did the preview, but the Braves can't because their lineup was so good in 2023. I mean, they were number 1 in basically every stat category. Can they get back to that form? I think that's interesting because if they can very well challenge the Dodgers for the World Series for the National League this year. They're that good. They also have some young guys in the rotation that I think need to step up. So like that's one storyline that I'm looking forward to. Obviously, from a Yankee perspective, like can they get over the loss of Garrett Cole? Can Aaron Judge have another MVP season? And there's some players I'm always looking forward to, like Lawrence Butler, year 2 guy, Jackson Churio, guys like that. Can Jackson Holiday figure it out at the big league level? He was the number 1 prospect in baseball. Those are some storylines.
I'm kind of in the same boat. I'm kind of regretting not picking Churio this year for fantasy baseball because he looks like he can be that next guy to take that jump into superstardom. I think he can be guys, and like I'm excited for Lawrence Butler. I'm excited to see how the Athletics play this year, the Sacramento, how that stadium plays out. I'm very high on the Athletics this year. I'm personally really excited to see them two in. I want to see what's going on out west. I feel like the Dodgers are always going to be a storyline, but I feel those West teams have a lot of things like the Diamondbacks, the Mariners, the Athletics are just teams that I want to like personally invest time into. Of course, you want to check the Death Star that is the Yankees. What's going to happen with the Yankees? I feel like the Yankees are a soap opera. There's always something going on up there. If it's not, an injury, it's, a fiasco going on. You're going to want to tune into Boston too, as
Mm.
well, because of, what's going on there. And, the contracts will always be a storyline with Vladimir Guerrero. But if I were to just look at them, if I were just to pinpoint places I would just be watching, I'd watch both New York teams to see how the Mets also play with the Soto and the
Mhm.
Yankees, Mets and Yankees, Boston and Oakland and Arizona. Those are like my kind of like teams that I want to like see what happens. Like dark horse and like just storyline teams.
Yeah, I mean, we'll talk. I will at least talk about the Diamondbacks a little bit later, in some of the predictions. But those are some interesting teams. I would also circle. It's hard to really pinpoint any teams in the Central, but I do think the Tigers have the opportunity to be kind of interesting this year. I'm also really interested to see what the Rays can do because that starting rotation has the potential to be top five in the sport, and in theory, you think they could push for a wild card. And with the American League East being so open, who knows? Maybe the Rays could push for the division. There's always a surprise team in the sport. Those are a couple more I got circled. Texas is going to be really interesting, getting back to that 2023 form. Hopefully, can Seattle finally hit the ball? There's a lot. I mean, there's always a lot.
I think Texas will be very interesting as well. And I mean, Tampa, they avoided major injury with McClanahan. He's going to just hit the IL. They got the news on Sunday. So, I'm just excited that ball is back.
Mhm.
I'm ready to watch these teams. I'm ready to see what's happened. I mean, we're going to see returns of a lot of guys. We're going to see the return of DeGrom on the mound, Otani on the mound. Brandon Woodruff is a sleeper to keep in mind. I
Mm.
mean, when he's on, he can be really good. And so there's just a lot of things to look forward to. And I mean, it's a fun season. It's not a sprint, it's a marathon. It's 162, and I'm ready just to get started.
6 months of ball. Um, I'm excited for those late night chilling at the apartment, turn on the Dodgers game, those late night West Coast games. Those are the
Listen,
best.
listen to Oral Hershiser just give you a lecture, or like either gives you like a good knowledgeable like about pitching, or he just goes and gives us a story like back from his playing days. And so I'm excited for that. I just think like baseball's in a really good place this year. I think there's a lot of storylines, and I think it's good to see, we're back. We're finally back in that groove.
Yeah, I can't wait for tomorrow. Can't wait for the first pitch.
Hey,
With that,
I'm excited. You want to do awards or we're doing props? Oh,
let's do props first.
okay. Okay, props. You go first with your props.
Yeah, I listed quite a few here, but I'll run through these. Don't have to give. We don't necessarily give a ton of detail, but I will say kind of my reasoning behind every pick. First one, Aaron Judge over 47 and a half home runs. He's hit this every single time he's played over 150 games. Again, this is essentially a bet on his health. Last year he had 58. The year before he had 37, but he only played 106 games. Year before that, won the MVP, had 62 home runs, played 157 games. Year before that, won 48, was hurt, had 39. And then in 2017, 52 was the other time he went over this total. So if Aaron Judge is healthy, I think he's hitting 50 home runs again.
Mm-hmm.
So that's number one. Number two, and this should surprise absolutely nobody, Austin Riley over 30 and a half home runs. This is a bet on the Braves lineup getting it back together this year. Last year he had 19. He only played 110 games, was banged up. 3 seasons before that, he went over this total with relative ease, 33, 38, and 37 home runs respectively. So I like the over 30 and a half there for Mr. Austin Riley. Another one, Bryce Harper, over 27 and a half home runs. Feels a little bit disrespectful. for one of the better hitters in the sport. I think he can get to 30 as long as he stays healthy. He was at last year. He had exactly 30. Year before that was a little banged up. Had 21 in 2021. He had 35. I don't think he's going to get back to like career high levels of 42 when he was with the Nationals, but I think Bryce Harper can go over 27 and a half. An interesting one here, and I don't love doing unders. They're not as fun to bet, obviously, but I'm going under 25 and a half home runs for Isaac Paredes. I think this number is just a little bit too steep. Everyone thinks that he's going to go nuclear with the Crawford boxes now that he's in Houston. But last season, only had 19 home runs. Year before that in Tampa had 31, but I think that's more of an anomaly than the norm. Had 20 in 2022, going under 25 and a half for Mr. Isaac Paredes. Quick ones here. Over 25 and a half home runs for Jake Berger with the Rangers now. Loaded lineup. I think he's going to feast over there. Doesn't walk at all, which is a concern for him, but shouldn't affect his home run total. And Lawrence Butler under 23 and a half. I just think it's a sophomore slump coming for him. And then my last home run prop, Vlad Jr. over 30 and a half home runs. MVP season coming him potentially. Don't want to step on my pick too much. Love that for him. And then just some flyer bets on most home runs because it's probably going to be Judge or Ohtani. But if it's, one of those guys gets hurt and they don't win, I like Yordan plus 1,400 as a full-time DH in Houston. Polar Pete Alonso plus 1,500 with the Mets, protecting Juan Soto, and also kind of in a contract year. Fernando Tatis Jr. plus 2,000 out in San Diego. Tough place to hit, but he has the potential to do it. Matt Olson plus 3,000, a guy that led the National League in home runs in 2023, had 50. I think he had 52 that year. He can do it again. Vlad plus 3,100 if he just goes nuclear, and a long shot bet. Teoscar Hernandez plus 6,500 in the middle of that Dodgers lineup. Already has a home run. Hit the first home run of the season in Japan last week. So that was a lot, but those are some home run props that I have. I got more pitching and stolen bases, but that's just getting things started here today.
So I'm going to give you a couple that I'm going to look at. I'm a big fan on some of these award ones for me and just hits in general. I mean, when they're giving you Luis Arraez hits leader at plus 650, I think that's when you always hit.
Yeah.
For the whole week. I would sprinkle money there. I would also look to sprinkle money on guys like Xavier Edwards for hits leader at plus 4,000. Wouldn't be surprised also at Jackson Merrill at plus 1,900. I mean, those are personal. Like Xavier Edwards and Jackson Merrill are two guys that I'm personally high on this season. I think both of them got the things going at the end of the year, and they're due for new rises. So I took Xavier Edwards plus 50 stolen bases, which is at plus money as well. Specifically, Xavier Edwards at plus money, plus 180, plus 50 stolen bases. He played half a season and he stole over 20 bases. So now that he's going to play over the whole year, and he was a hits machine, just a singles machine, no power whatsoever. Like he just got menace on the base pass. I'd like myself some Garrett Crochet at plus 750 for the strikeouts leader. Wouldn't mind Dylan Cease at plus 1,400 for strikeouts. Those are two guys that are going to be, strikeout specialists that are going to be thrust into big roles. So I like those guys a lot. I avoid home runs, but there's a couple that I would sprinkle. The only one I really feel confident in sprinkling would be a Pete Alonso plus 1,600 pitching with Juan Soto there in the lineup.
Okay.
It's pretty much saves. I mean, when they're giving you Devin Williams at plus 1,200, I think you should take that.
Yeah, I have that one as Devin Williams saves leader plus 1,200. That's a good bet.
Plus 1,200, and then I mean they don't have it on here, but I was like, Jordan Romano at plus 5,000 save leader if you really want to get spicy for the Phillies. Closing.
That's cheeky.
Felix Bautista at plus 2,500 for the Orioles could be decent. I mean, now Edwin Diaz and Clase, Hader, and Helsley are at top, but none of those teams really inspire me that they're going to get a lot of wins. Mason Miller at plus 1,400 could be a play as well. What do you
Okay.
think about that? What do you think about
I think
that?
I think Edwin Diaz is going to get a lot of saves, but I just worry about the health.
I'm just saying, yeah, I would tend to go with guys like that, like Andres Munoz. I didn't mention him, but Andres Munoz, Jeff Hoffman, Jordan.
Yeah.
Here's one that everybody should sprinkle. Tanner Scott at plus 3,000.
For most saves.
Yes, with the Dodgers.
He already has one. It could be like a closer by committee thing for them, but if he solidifies himself as the guy, yeah, he's getting it.
He's getting it. So putting that out there.
And I drafted him to my fantasy team, which is going to drive you crazy all season.
I looked at it, but hey, I'm on a new approach. Last season was a tough year for me. I kind of took I drafted last year with emotion, with the losing to Josh Doring by a tiebreaker made me just copy his build, and it didn't work. So we went back to basics.
All right. I got a few more. Strikeouts, I got Yamamoto over 170 and a half. 150 and a half. He had 105 last year and only pitched 90 innings, was injured. Now it's his second full season in Major League Baseball. Hopefully stays healthy. I think he can go over that number. This one might surprise you, but I took Carlos Rodon over 170 and a half strikeouts. Last year he had 195. The year before he didn't pitch much at all, only 64. But when he's healthy, he's pretty much a lock. 237 strikeouts in 2022 with the Giants, 185 in 2021. If he's healthy, he's getting this number. Another one, I like Blake Snell under 185 and a half strikeouts. That number is really high for a dude that has struggled with injury. Only 20 starts last year, finished with 145 strikeouts. Also, there's just so many guys in that Dodgers rotation that he might be pitching every sixth day instead of every fifth day, which could hurt his chances at going over that number. If he's fully healthy, pitches 30 plus starts, he'll probably get it. I just don't think he's going to do that. Most strikeouts, I also have Crochet at plus 750. I also like Hunter Green at plus 2,500. Those are two cheeky bets.
Hunter Green. Ooh.
Yeah, Hunter Green's a little slept on for strikeouts, but Paul Skeens will probably win that battle. And then a couple quick ones to wrap out. Jazz Chisholm over 33 and a half stolen bases. I already said this, but I think he's going to lead the league in stolen bases this year, the American League, because Ellie De Cruz will win the whole thing if you count the National League. But he had 40 last year, 33 and a half, I think is quite attainable. I like Aaron Judge over 5.5 stolen bases. This is on FanDuel, by the way, where I'm getting these odds. Aaron Judge had 10 last year. I think he can get to 6. Just give me 6. And he's a good situational stolen base guy. Corbin Carroll over 38 and a half, getting back to his 2023 form. He had exactly, I think he had 50 in 2023 when he won the MVP or the Cy Young, finished third in MVP voting, fifth in MVP voting. He had 54 and then 35 last year when he struggled. So I like him over. Flyer on most stolen bases, Corbin Carroll plus 950 if it's not going to be Ellie De La Cruz. And then I mentioned Devin Williams plus 1,200.
Those are good picks.
For saves.
I mean, those are really good picks.
I hope so.
You want to do some awards now?
Yeah, let's do awards. You go first.
All right. So my AL MVP, I think this is the year we see a voter fatigue, and I think Bobby Witt wins it.
Okay.
And I think the NL is Ohtani to shoo-in.
Yeah, I got Vlad Jr. in a contract year in the American League plus 1,700.
That'd be nice for me.
Yep. And National League, I think you're a fool if you're not picking Ohtani. So
yeah, the only guy that I can see coming up close is probably Fernando Tatis.
Maybe Juan Soto, but I think last year was a career for Soto, so I don't know if he's gonna.
Cy Young, who you got?
In the American League, I'm going with another guy on a contract year. I'm going Framber Valdez. And it just came out this weekend that he is not going to be re-signing. They're not going to negotiate a contract extension, so he's probably going to be a free agent. And then in the National League, I'm going with Paul Skeens, first full season.
I'm taking Garrett Crochet for the Red Sox.
Okay.
He's looked really good. And I'm taking Skeens. I think you're dumb if you don't take Skeens. The only guy that you could potentially sprinkle money would be Dylan Cease in a contract year or Hunter Green. I think Hunter Green is some guy we got to keep our eye on this season.
Yeah, I mean, last year was Chris Sale. Came out of absolute nowhere, so it's hard to predict.
Yeah.
Crochet, another dude that has not negotiated an extension with his team, which is something that obviously he wants. So we'll see if he goes back to Boston. What about Rookie of the Year?
I got Roki in the NL, even though it will probably cause me a lot of headache throughout the season.
Mm-hmm.
The NL, and then in the AL, it's kind of interesting. I don't like Jason Dominguez, and I don't know when Christian Campbell and Roman Anthony will be up. So I will be taking Jacob Wilson from the A's.
All right, I got Jackson Jobe for the American League, Tigers pitcher. He's going to be in the rotation this year. Again, though, it is tough in the American League right now. And then National League, I didn't want to pick Roki because I understand he's a rookie, but he's been in professional baseball for a while. I don't know if he's going to get the innings too. So I picked Dylan Cruz.
You should have taken
the Washington Nationals. Who?
My guy, Craig Yoho. That's a great
from the Brewers.
Name. Yeah, plus 8,000. I'm just saying. But hey, I'm very excited. I just think the AL is very difficult to call. I can totally see a world where you can see a Cam Smith come out blazing like he's been in camp and do the whole thing. So I like
Cam
the roster.
Smith.
Cam Smith, Jacob Wilson are two guys I'm interested in. So maybe Christian Campbell if he can win the job, but not sure.
Cam Smith is plus 1,500, and it seems like he's going to be the opening day right fielder for the Astros.
Exactly. Let's talk about relievers. I think we both agree with this one. Devin Williams.
Yep, I got Devin Williams in the American League.
And then I got Tanner Scott, National League. I think he's going to get a stronghold on that one. And, he's going to be that guy.
Yeah, that's a good pick. I got Edwin Diaz from the Mets.
Managers, who you got?
AJ Hinch from the Tigers, winning that division, and Terry Francona from the Reds. Got him pushing for a wild card, but ultimately just missing out.
I got Mark Kotze for the Athletics. I think they'll be pushing wild card this year. And Terry Francona. I agree with I think the Reds will be very good, but Kotze, I think the A's are going to have a big year. I think the A's are due for a big, big rise.
Yeah, you're high on the A's. You've been talking about them a lot.
Hey, Jacob Wilson looks good. I know you didn't like him, and he didn't look good on models, but he's playing well. Lawrence Butler. They got our guy Brent Rooker there. Shaylan LeGalliers. There's a lot of promising things going on in Sacramento.
Yeah. They got
Luis Severino, Mason Miller.
Yeah, there's a lot of talent there, which is something we haven't said in a couple of years for them. So, yeah, there's reason to be optimistic.
They weren't awful last year either. They were competitive.
No. Yeah, they were, and they gave us reason to be high on them this year. With that, let's go to our division standings.
All right, let's do the AL East.
All right, I'm picking the Yankees to win the division. I got the Red Sox second as a wild card, Orioles third as a wild card, Rays fourth, and Blue Jays fifth.
And I will agree with that. I think the Orioles are due for a little bit of regression with the pitching injuries they have. And I think the title race will be very close between the Red Sox and Yankees. I think it'll be very, very close.
Yeah, I agree. And the one thing I do want to say with this division is I do think the Rays can push for second or third. It just depends on their rotation staying healthy and obviously some of those bats coming along. So it's a wide open division. What about the National League East?
I got Phillies, Braves, Mets, Nationals, and Marlins.
I got Phillies. Go ahead.
Go. I said the Braves are due this year.
I got Phillies, Mets, Braves, Nationals, Marlins. But Mets and Braves are both wild card teams.
Interesting.
Central block.
I don't see the Mets. I'm taking the Royals winning that division, Tigers, then Guards, Twins, and White Sox.
Ooh, low on the Twins.
Very low on the Twins this year.
Okay, I'm going to go Tigers first, Royals second, Twins third, Guardians fourth, and White Sox fifth.
Ooh, very low on the Guardians. How about the NL Central?
I got Cubs winning, Reds second, Brewers third, Pirates fourth, Cardinals fifth.
I have the same, except flip-flop the Pirates and Cardinals. I think the Pirates will be the seller.
Okay.
In a competitive race this year.
Okay. But only one playoff team from that division for me.
Okay. How about the West?
West, I got Rangers, Mariners, Astros, A's, Angels.
I got Rangers, Mariners, Athletics, Astros, and Angels.
Whoa, you got Astros finishing fourth.
Yep, I got the A's coming in third, barely missing the playoffs.
Okay.
They'll be one of the feel-good stories this year.
Yeah. In National League West, I got Dodgers, Diamondbacks, Giants, Padres, Rockies, with the Diamondbacks being a wild card team.
I have Dodgers, Diamondbacks, Padres, Giants, and Rockies. I'm surprised you're that low on the Padres with Mr. Tatis there in the lineup and Jackson Merrill.
Well, we talked about it on the preview. It seems like they're going to be trading some guys, so we'll see what happens with the roster the way it is currently constructed. It is a playoff team, but I just don't think it's going to end up that way.
Okay.
And then I'll go through my bracket for the playoffs. Then you can go through yours. On the American League side, I got the Yankees as the number 1 seed getting the bye, the Rangers as the number 2 seed getting a bye. And then for the wild card series, I have the number 3 seeded Detroit Tigers beating the number 6 seeded Seattle Mariners. For the other wild card series, I got, and we'll post these graphics out to our Instagram page if you want to see them visually. Number 4, Red Sox over number 5, Orioles in the wild card series. And then in the division series, I have Rangers over Tigers, Yankees over Red Sox in the division series. And I got the Yankees winning the American League over the Rangers in the CS, going back to the World Series. In the National League, I got the number 1 seed being the Dodgers, number 2 seed being the Phillies, number 3 seed being the Cubs. They're going to lose to the Braves in the wild card series. The Braves are going to be the number 6 seed. Number 4 seed, I got the Diamondbacks. They are going to beat the Mets, the number 5 seed in the wild card series. And then in the National League Division Series, I have Braves over Phillies. Doring talked about it. They're better when they're a wild card team, but the Phillies are going to win the division, so I don't have them as a wild card team. I got the Braves beating them in the DS. Diamondbacks upsetting the Dodgers in the DS. I think they got the pitching to do it. And then I have the Diamondbacks beating the Braves in the championship series. And in the World Series, I have the Diamondbacks beating the Yankees. I have the Arizona Diamondbacks winning the World Series.
My picks start with the American League. I got the Rangers being the number 1 overall seed in the American, Yankees number 2, Royals number 3, and then the Red Sox number 1 wild card. They will beat the Orioles. Then the Mariners will beat to the Mariners will beat the Royals. That's my picks. And so then from then on, you're going to see a Red Sox versus Rangers, which I got the Red Sox over the Rangers. Rangers, and then the Yankees over the Mariners. And
Mariners, Red Sox. Yankees, Red Sox, ALCS would be crazy.
Yes, that's my what I think would happen. Yeah, I think we'll get that this year. What do you think about that?
Who advances, Yankees or Red Sox?
Yankees. think the experience, and I think Judge has a moment. I think this is Judge's moment this year.
Okay.
So
I hope
then
you're right.
in the National League, I'm taking Dodgers as a true number one overall seed. I'm taking number 2, the Phillies. The Cubs will lose to the Reds. And then the Diamondbacks will lose to the Braves.
Okay.
How does that sound? Okay.
Could see it.
So
Could see it. I like the Reds sneaking in there.
So then you would get a scenario where the Dodgers would face the 4 seed, the 4-5. So then that would be the Braves. So then I have Dodgers over the Braves. And then you have Phillies, Reds, and I have Phillies beating the Dodgers because I would see the Phillies beating the Reds. So then you'd get a Phillies Dodgers World Series.
Phillies, Dodgers, NLCS.
Yes, because then the Phillies and Yankees would play in the World Series.
And who wins?
The Phillies.
Okay.
So
you got the Yankees losing again in the World Series.
Essentially.
And neither of us have the Dodgers winning the World Series or even making it.
I have them losing to the Phillies.
Yeah, not making the World Series.
Yeah, I mean, They have it, but it just depends on if they can get everything clicking at the right. I think it's the Phillies year. Like we talked with Josh, I think it's their year.
I hope
it's put up or shut up. It's put up or shut up. So,
okay.
It remains to be seen. How do we feel about the season, though? Like, are you ready?
I am. I've been ready since November. So I am.
So ready. You're trying to get that World Series taste out of your mouth, essentially.
Yeah,
that's your thing.
I'm ready for the Yankees to be playing meaningful baseball again. It's a grind. Like I love the 162 game grind. People complain about it. I think I'm one of those guys that's kind of a purist when it comes to the schedule. I enjoy the grind, the seasons changing, going to games in the summer, watching games on TV when it's cold out. It's a good baseball. The life goes as baseball goes. A lot of things change in life, but baseball is going to be there for the next 6 months, which I don't know. There's some comfort in that. I enjoy it.
I think that's a great way to end our podcast today. Like that was like the closing lock monologue. So the road to the World Series starts. The road to Atlanta in July starts. How excited are we? I know
the road to fantasy baseball glory starts. Can Luis finally win a championship?
Hey, I technically won year 2, like that 2 years ago, but I got screwed over like 6 points in the 6th decimal spot in batting average or OBP.
We've had this league. I think the first year was 2017 because it was our freshman year. So 2017. So it's almost been 10 years. It'll be our 8th season of fantasy baseball. And you're winless. I have 3 championships, not to pat my back. I think Maniac has 4, and then Doring has the other one. So it's been kind of dominated by 2 teams. Let's get some fresh blood, Luis. I think you got to step up. There's a lot of pressure on you this year to finally get a championship under your belt.
You should tell Armand that. Armand is literally in the cellar. He's a historical franchise just sitting in the cellar.
Yeah, that's true.
He's the Oakland A's. Armand's one of the founding members, and he's never gotten like a sniff.
That's true. That is true. He's got to step up. There's pressure on him this year too.
Sell the team. This man got his assets frozen by MLB baseball. Like he could have logged into his ESPN account to get on the website.
That is true. That did happen last season.
Man was facing financial crisis like Everton. We're talking like NBA taking over the Hornets type of vibes. So,
all righty, let's wrap this up. There's some March Madness games going on that everyone will know the result of by now. But opening day is tomorrow. Can't wait. Hope you guys enjoyed this podcast. Hopefully these bets hit. I got the D-backs winning it all. Luis has the Phillies. Any final thoughts before we get out of here, Luis?
Baseball's back.
That is a fact. Thank you all for listening. And until the next episode, we'll catch you next time. Peace out.